What is up, people? We are back with a new episode of the What's Your Why podcast. It has been a while, but I appreciate you coming back for more. This week, we have Alexis Alm on the podcast. It was great to catch up with her. Haven't really spoken much since high school, but along the way, she has done a lot from going through the UND flight program to now working and training horses and living that Western cowboy, cowgirl lifestyle. So appreciate you guys tuning in to listen here. If you enjoy the podcast, go ahead and give Lexi a follow, but also share the podcast. Appreciate you guys a ton. Come back for more next time. Thank you.
See now.
So we're recording now, and I just scared the shit out of Lexi's dog here, Deets.
Yeah.
But he's not growling at me anymore.
Yeah, he likes you now.
There we go.
He trusts you. Means you're a good person.
Apparently.
I would have had to kick you off the place
Yeah.
if he still didn't like you. Be like, well, sorry, we have to cancel.
Well, Deets is the second dog, or animal, not dog. First dog to make it on the podcast.
Look at that.
So that's exciting.
I like how he's sitting by you two and not me. So it's like not even my dog anymore.
That's okay.
That's it.
Well, what's new?
Not a whole lot. I kind of just do the same thing every day, pretty much. But I guess since high school, there's a lot new.
Yeah, there's a lot of new since high school.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a good place to start.
Okay.
Because I feel like I haven't seen you since high school, really.
Saw you once at the gym.
Once at the gym.
Yeah,
Caught up
that's all
like
we need.
super
Whole
briefly.
5-second catch up.
Yeah. But, so super quick background. Lexi and I went to high school together. And that was, well, that's not going to show me the year. What year is it? 24? It's been 9 years since we were in high school, which is actually really weird to say now.
Yeah, I don't like it.
But where'd you go after high school? Like, what'd you do?
So I went to UND, and out of all the things to pick from to go to school for, I went for commercial aviation. So I did my 4-year degree there. And then I want to say it was close to 3 years of flight instruction there afterwards. So it was a wild time in my life.
Mm-hmm.
But really cool. And then after flight instructing.
Let's go back.
Okay.
It's really easy to breeze over everything.
Yeah, sorry.
Like it was new. So, I briefly remember you like wanting to go into flight school when we were in high school. But what made you want to do that?
Well, so originally I wanted to go into flight school with the military.
Okay.
So I wanted to fly helicopters. And then that military didn't work out just because of like past health medical wise.
Yeah.
Like they're so picky. And then I was like, oh, well, UND has a flight school, which I never knew until our senior year of high school.
Okay.
Shows how much I paid attention to UND. And I looked at the cost for a helicopter, and that was substantially larger than fixed wing. And I was like, I guess I'm doing fixed wing. So I just kind of wanted to do something different, kind of just like go see the world. And I was like, what better way to see the world than like go fly the jet that takes you around the world. So yeah, I did that. And I honestly, like, I don't know what went through high school Lexi's brain that was so brave to just go do that. I don't know if I was the same way now, I definitely would not have.
Yeah. Well, what was your mindset back then? Because so we're actually back at, you grew up here, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So this is your dad's ranch, family ranch?
Yep.
What made you want to go and not like kind of continue on with doing cattle work?
So I guess I've always really liked, horses and cattle work, but I think it just came to a point where, like, because I didn't grow up in the best family household, so I was like, I just want to go do something for myself and like go do something great, because my mindset was like, I don't know, there seemed like it can't be that hard to go be a pilot.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, why not? Why can't I just do it? I think that was my mindset, and I just wanted to kind of break free, because I feel like in North Dakota or like small town communities, you don't see people go away. You know, it's like very seldom. And so I just wanted to, yeah, go do something for myself and like build something for myself. And I was like, you know, if I come back to the ranch, I come back to the ranch, but if I don't, I don't,
Yeah.
kind of a thing.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that comes from two people who left home
Mm-hmm.
and came back.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I did as well. And I'm back in Fargo now as well.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's pretty nice out here.
It is.
There's a lot more green out here than there is in Fargo.
Yeah. The thing about going to flight school and like now ending up back here, like I don't regret it at all because I think it made me a better person to come, like to like find myself to be able to come back and like be my own person when I come back.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
It makes total sense.
Yeah.
So I know what like an ag ed degree is like because obviously that's what I did. But what was it like going through what seems to be a pretty competitive program at UND?
I think at first it was like a huge slap in the face on like I have no idea what any of this is. Because there's kids that come in and they've like just done like airplane spotting since they were like 5. So they know every single plane, how everything works. But oh man, I don't even know how to describe like my first year. But there's a lot of other people where they, once I figured it out, like they were kind of in the same boat. And we all just struggle bus together, which was nice. So it's a pretty big program, but at the same time it's a small program.
Yeah.
Like everyone knows everyone. And there's just so many resources that I found out later on too, which was great. But yeah, like flying a plane for the first time, because I was like, I've driven equipment my whole life.
Yeah.
Like there's gonna be no problem. First flight in a plane, I barfed. Like,
So describe it. What was like leading up to your first plane ride? How let's start with this. How long were you into your program?
I started flying like right away. So
Okay.
like I didn't have a flight instructor for like I want to say maybe close to like the first month or so. So I couldn't start flying right away. But then I finally got assigned because we had such a large influx of people come in. So like she was like, it's gonna be great. Like you don't we're just going and we're just gonna learn like what the yoke does and the rudder pedals. And so the wildest part to me was you get in this plane and like if you're driving something, you use a steering wheel, right?
Yeah.
Not when you're in the plane. And so she's like, yep, you use your feet. So like trying to like taxi around the airport, like they let you kind of try it on your first time. And I was just like, oh my gosh, the only thing controlling this on the ground is your feet. Same thing with like jets to a certain point and whatever. That was the wildest thing to me. She's like, nope, we're not going anywhere if you turn that. Like you got to use your feet, Lexi. But then like.
So what's the steering wheel turn?
Your ailerons on your wings.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So your feet are your rudder on the tail, and your hands are all the wings.
Okay. So when you're turning, you're not actually like when you're turning with your feet, you're not turning the wheels.
So it turns your nose wheel.
Oh, okay.
I forgot about that
Gotcha.
part when you're on the ground. Yeah, it'll turn your nose wheel. So yeah, that was pretty wild. And then like getting in the air the first time, I think I made it like maybe 2 minutes. Like takeoff was great. I was just like, this is awesome. 2 minutes into the air, and it, like in the summer, so this would have been like September. So you get really bad thermal turbulence.
Okay.
And small planes don't have air conditioning, so it's hot in the plane. You're getting rocked going through the air. 2 minutes in, I'm just drenched in sweat from motion sickness, and my flight instructor's like, how you doing, bud? And I'm like, oh, I'm great. And she's like, you don't look great. And I was like, I'm not great. And so like with the Grand Forks being so busy, it took us a while to be able to like come back into the airport. Oh, it was rough.
Did she take over then?
Oh yeah, she was pretty much flying the whole time. Like she just kind of let me hover over the controls.
Yeah.
And so she was great about it, though. She's like, okay, we're going back. Like, I'm so sorry. So I had to work through it. I took a lot of Dramamine for my first year of flight school. It was a wild time.
So at UND, like what size planes are you flying?
They're like Cessna 172s is when I started my training in. So it's just like 4-seater.
Okay.
So yeah, just 2 and 2. Pretty small. And then towards the end of my training, we flew Piper Archers, which I actually liked a lot more. And they were pretty comfortable, but still 2 and 2, like 4-seater.
So those are you ever flying larger planes when you're at UND?
The only like large plane we'll move up to is a Piper Seminole, which is your multi-engine.
Okay.
So it's still like a 4-seater. It's what a lot of people will honestly buy. Like if you have your multi-engine license and you just want to like leisurely fly. So that's kind of like a common like step up plane. Yeah. But other than that,
So what does a program like that look like for, like obviously there's like, you're learning about how airplanes work.
Yeah.
And you're learning about, well, I'll just what's that program look like from not just flying?
Yeah, it's a lot. So like, you have to go through your ground school. So you have your ground school, along with your credits, which would be like meteorology. You're taking meteorology. I'm trying to think of some of the like airport management.
Okay.
It's like I'm trying to think. Oh, like systems. You have to learn systems. So you're pretty much balancing a full-time like normal college credit situation along with having like your flight lab, which is like when you have to go fly the plane for training.
Yeah. Okay.
So it gets to be a lot. I remember my first year, I was coming home for the weekend and I didn't realize like how tired I was until I got home, and I think I was like in bed by like 6:30 p.m.
Damn.
Yeah, cuz you're just going and trying to get like all this stuff done. But yeah, you fly about 3 times a week, at least is what they hope to do.
Okay.
And then yeah, you're doing full-time classes every day.
And then you're paying for that flight as well.
Which is usually the most expensive part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between like, so are you getting your pilot license through UND? So I remember like one of the kids I coached in pole vault, he had his pilot's license before he graduated high school. Is there a difference in that, or are you getting like the same base license right away?
It's like, that's kind of a good question. So how you do it, so like there's different, I forget the technical word, but like doing it through a university and doing it through just like an airport. So like going through a university, it's a lot more streamlined, if that makes sense. And then going through like an airport, Deets.
He's good.
Going through an airport, it's like you pretty much only have your flight instructor.
Okay.
To teach you like on the ground and in the air. So like we're at a university, you have all these like, which is just a normal class like your ground school, and then you have your flight instructor who only has to worry about like your flight portion. So there's a lot of people where they go through getting their licenses at an airport. And like they get a lot more real world experience, that's for sure, because you get some Joe Schmo where he's just like, I've been flying for 45 years and this is how it works. And they always have like a lot more like fun stories. But yeah, you can definitely get it. I think 16 is the youngest. So yeah, if they're that young, they'll usually do it through like an airport or like Fargo Jet Center or something.
Makes sense. So I'm just laughing at your dog over here.
Yeah, he's watching
For everything.
Yeah, he's looking for birds and stuff to go chase.
So current is that Tex? No,
Taz. Yeah.
Taz is currently was on top of a hay bale out here.
Watching.
Round bale. Okay, so back to it. Do you have any like weird, traumatic flight stories from your time at UND?
Not as like a student. I would say the only traumatic thing that ever happened to me as a student was I had one really bad flight instructor where he was like, I think because he wanted to just ram jam get to the airlines, because as
Yeah.
a flight instructor you're building time to go to the
Okay.
airlines. And he was awful. Like, he was always yelling at me. And so, like, I don't usually, like, I'm not, like, gonna toot my own horn, but, like, I was a pretty good pilot, like, because I'm so used to doing machinery and, like,
Yeah.
stuff. Thankfully it was a short course I had with him, but yeah, he was just, like, one small deviation, and he was, like, on me. And, like, this is Kip.
Who's this?
I think her name is Kip. It's my dad's dog.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, now we got the word.
Yeah, so if you're watching the video, we got like
Keep going.
4 dogs in the video
Yeah.
now. What's up, dogs?
But flight instructing wise, I did go through a point, like, because I had to teach student pilots, so people where
Yeah.
they don't have their license yet. I had to teach them, and I literally had night terrors of them crashing planes
Oh my
because
God.
of, like, the situations they would put me in.
Yeah.
So, like, almost like free falling, you're like 5 feet in the air, which doesn't seem like that high when you're coming in for a landing, but you just slam a plane down because it's stalled out coming from a landing.
And that will like crash a plane?
That's not like crashing it, but it's just like a really hard landing. And I don't recommend it.
Did it ever happen to you?
To crash, or
Not to
like
crash.
them doing that all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, you gotta go.
We have a little puppy.
I can go
being
lock her
a
up
monster.
too. I'll go lock her in my chair really quick.
Okay. Hey, let go of that cord.
Come here.
I'll hold that quick.
Okay.
We're gonna pause here. Be right back. What do you have to say about this?
Watch her start like whining now.
It's okay.
Okay. Trying to think. I always had my one thing I miss about flight instructing is I always had funny stories though, because like your students do dumb things, and so
Yeah.
like flight instructors, we'd get together at the bar or something, and we could all just exchange all of these like funny stories of like, my student tried to kill me today doing this.
Huh.
But I think the closest I've ever been to like an actual like possible like crash was I was doing a stage check. So like when you're getting your license, you have to do tests. And I was doing this student's like first test, which is supposed to be one of the harder ones before they get their license. And we were going and we were practicing a simulated engine failure to a landing. And so he's like, aiming at his point on the runway, and he's got full flaps in, which is caught like, so you got all this drag. Number one rule, if you have no flaps in, don't like dump your flaps. Put all your flaps down without power in.
Okay.
Like, you need power, otherwise you're gonna like just out of the like.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we're going, and I was like, okay, do you think you're gonna make your aim point here? And he's like, no, I don't think so. I'm like, okay, so what should we do? And he's like, go around. And I'm like, yep. This kid straight up starts pulling back on the yoke to like climb, dumps flaps, does not add power. So he's literally putting us in a power off stall situation, like maybe 200 feet above the runway, like above ground.
Oh my
and I'm
gosh.
like, no. And so I just like about crap my pants, and I'm like, nope. And I like slam power in, and I'm like, never do that again. And I was never like a mean stage instructor, so I tried to like handle it with him so he wouldn't be like panicked the rest of the flight, but I was just like he's like, I am so sorry. And
so did he like instantly know?
he like right as soon as I was like, nope, and like slam power, and he was just like, dang it. But I was nice enough where I didn't fail it. I could have failed him like right then and there. But I didn't. I was just like, you know what you did, right? And he's like, mm-hmm. And I was like,
so what's that look like? So you didn't fail him. Could he instantly like never be a pilot again?
No, it's
Okay.
like you get, I think through UND, if I remember right, it's like you get 3 tries to pass a stage check. So like what would happen if I failed him, we could go through the rest of the sections of that test, but he would have to like go back, revisit that with his flight instructor, practice it, get re-signed off, and then try it again.
Okay.
So Yeah. Looking back, like, I definitely should have not, like, let him pass that section, because he would have died if
Oh,
that
yeah.
was real
Damn.
life.
Okay.
So I was just like, okay. But I'm a people pleaser. It's fine. But I would say that's the closest I've been. I just had other students where they've done, like, dumb things, and you're like, it just makes you shake your head. I'm sure it'd be the same with, like, you at training
Yeah.
at Bobcat, when you just
Yeah.
watch someone and you're like, where did you think that was a good idea?
What I think a lot of the things that go wrong at our trainings are intentional.
Oh, yeah. I'm
And
sure.
they're like, I'm not going to die if I roll this piece of equipment.
Yeah.
And I've never had something roll
Yeah.
while I've been at training. Like, knock on wood.
But they think about it.
But they think about it. But they also just try to be so dumb. Like,
Yeah.
like it's so, they're like, I want to push this to its limits.
Yeah, and I think they do that too, because there's, like, this person that technically knows what they're, like,
Yeah.
doing there. There's, like, the safety net, and you're like, no, I literally can't help you if you, like, get in a terrible situation.
Yeah. Like there's, like, I don't know if you've seen, like, the tool cat.
Yeah.
So it's basically like a very immobile pickup that has a loader arm on the front. And a guy drives it up this like little hill, and it's almost at a 45-degree angle, like about to flip. And I was like, oh, I have no idea what we do at this point.
Yeah.
And luckily, the dealership we were at the time was like an all-terrain dealership, or not all-terrain dealership, but like they sell all-terrain, like, motorsports and vehicles, and they're like, oh yeah, this happens all the time. Not with the tool cap, but random things. And I was like, can you guys help me? They're like, oh yeah, we got this instantly. I was like, sweet. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
This is outside my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
I was not prepared for this.
Jesus, take the wheel.
I'm like a month and a half in.
Go there.
But yeah, no, students are ridiculous. Mm-hmm. It's a lot less life or death with, like, what we're training on versus what you're
on
doing.
The ground. Go lay down.
Yeah, we're on the ground, and yeah, it's just it's kind of a vacation for a lot of the people that come to our trainings.
Yeah.
And so they like to just screw around.
Want to have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Logan has told me, like, since I first met him, that you should be on the podcast. But one of the things he always talked about was, like, during your undergrad time, you worked constantly. Mm-hmm. So, like, what led you to working so much during your undergrad?
I think it's just, and Logan and I are alike in a lot of ways of, like, we need to be doing something. Mm-hmm. Like, it doesn't, like, I wouldn't say it, like, calms me, but it keeps me, like, just focused on, like, a goal or, like, something. So when I was in my undergrad and trying to work, I worked at good old Tractor Supply Company, which at the time I was just like, this is awful. So I never really wanted to go to work, but I needed money. And then when I started flight instructing, again, it was like a lot of, like, and I like nice things too. So, like, I work a lot so I can buy nice things. So I remember, like, my car in college was, like, awful, and so I worked really, really hard so I could buy my new car, and I bought it in cash, and, like, I did all that, and then also tried to just work really hard so then I could get my flight, or, like, my flight hours to go to the airlines. And then I was like, well, if we get to the airlines, then, I'll make a lot more money, and it'll be fine, and it'll be way easier than students trying to kill me every day flight instructing. Yeah. But I don't know, I feel like I've always, from growing up on a ranch where you're always working really hard, you don't really know any other way. But I do require I call it my 1 day of rotting at home. So in order for me to, like, work all the time, I just need 1 day of no expectations. Yeah. Don't expect me to even, like, leave the house, and I just hide.
So do you still do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, now it's a little bit easier because, like, I call those are on my treatment days where I just nap all day. Yeah. And I hide. So worked out perfect. Yeah.
There you go, I guess.
Yeah.
That's a positive way to look at it.
See, silver lining.
Yeah. No, so I think there's something to people, like, working through school.
Mhm.
And being able to like afford their credits. And
Mhm.
I definitely wish I would have. I worked all throughout my undergrad. I wish I would have paid more of it towards school
I
because
do
now I have a
too.
lot of loans.
Yep.
But I always wanted the nice things. I wanted to be able to go do whatever I want to when I'm not working, kind of. And I wasn't working like 40 hours a week
No.
by any means, except for maybe my freshman year of college. I worked a lot my freshman year of
Okay.
college for some reason,
Well,
and then I
you didn't
wasted
know
all
any
that
better.
money away. Didn't save any of it, hardly
Yeah.
at all. But I think it like builds a ton of character if you can work through your school and still do like well in school.
Mhm.
You know, now I think about it, I didn't do well my first semester.
That's okay. It's
And
your first one.
yeah, and it really wrecked my GPA moving forward.
But you had money.
Exactly, I
That's
did have
all
money
that
at the time.
mattered.
We went out to eat a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
most of the time,
Yep.
even though all of our meals were already paid for.
Yeah. It's just the lifestyle.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say I don't think I worked 40 hours a week, but I worked enough just to like go out to eat and do stuff. But looking back at it, I wish I could be like, I worked really hard and I paid off my school.
Yeah.
No, I worked really hard and still took out a lot of student loans. So
well, I didn't have to pay for any flight school, so that seems like
that's a
huge.
positive. You're farther ahead
Yeah,
than me.
there we go.
So
But so you keep saying that like you got to the point of trying to get to the airlines. What does that mean?
so like that's also another perk of going through university.
Yeah.
Is like your total flight time from the day you started training to like when you get all your flight certificates and like ratings and stuff through school, and then you start flight instructing, you add up all that time, and then the airlines have a minimum requirement for like universities or like airport certificates, like all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's like the most basic way I guess I can say it. So you're pretty much just like building as many hours as pilot in command as a flight instructor to reach that airline's minimum. So a lot of people, like I did my airline interviews and stuff before I even had my total hours. You join like cadet programs or whatnot. And so then that way they help you keep track of that. And then it's pretty much like the moment you get that last 0.1 hour, like they're signing you up for your training with the airline.
So it's basically you meet the minimum requirement and you're in.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, like you do your interview, which like that's the nice thing about being at a university too that works so close with airlines, is that your interviews are like pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
And like nothing to like super stress about, because like the university prepares you so well for it.
Yeah.
And then like you work with their recruiters and they're pretty much like just sucking people out of the system as soon as they can.
So are the airlines in need of pilots? Okay.
Yeah, so which was a big thing like when I started school. So it would have been like fall of 2015. Yeah. So like that was the start of like this huge pilot shortage. Okay. So we had a huge class come in. Excuse me. We had a huge class come in because of this pilot shortage, which I had no idea about, which I just got super lucky for that, because before it was like probably with like 5 years before, it was tough to get into the airlines, and now they're just like give us all of your like class.
Really?
Yeah. So there was a huge shortage going in, and I'm pretty sure because of COVID now too, it's even bigger. Like after COVID got done, and so like now's the time to be a pilot if anyone wants to be a pilot. So like they'll offer you a job before you're even done with school.
Really?
Pretty much.
So there's different types of airlines. Is there different classes of pilots? Or is it kind of you get a job wherever you get a job?
It's like, so there's like Delta, United, like those big guys. So they're like top dogs, obviously. But like I flew for SkyWest, which is a regional.
Yeah.
And so, like, you have those guys up here, and then there's, like, the regionals, and then there's, like, the gray area of, like, the Spirit, Allegiant,
Yeah.
like, type guys. I won't say anything bad about, like, Sun Country or, like, Southwest is really good, too. But, yeah, so there's, like, the gray area of those guys, and then you have, like, your cargo pilots
Yeah.
of, like, FedEx, UPS, and you just, like, I would say they're right up there with like Delta. 'Cause those guys are like top dogs out
The
there.
cargo pilots are?
They make bank, and
Really?
yeah, like if you can get in with a cargo airline and like you're a captain with cargo,
Yeah.
you're probably living a pretty cushy life.
Pretty cushy life. And probably a really set schedule.
Oh yeah, there's guys where they only have to work. Well, it was one of my classmates at SkyWest said that he knew a guy that he only worked like one or two weekends a month. Not like, oh, he worked all week and worked the weekend. It's just like a
Just the
weekend.
weekend.
Yeah. And like he was making easy 6-figure
Damn.
like salary, like high 6-figure salary.
Damn.
And I was just like, what?
Yeah.
So, but to get there, they worked their tails off.
Yeah,
you
probably.
know. So he probably earned those couple of days of hard work.
Yeah, totally. So when you're like becoming because you got into your internship, right? With like Delta or something like that?
Oh, I didn't do, so I just did a cadet program
Okay.
with SkyWest towards the end of my school. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you moved to Utah for that, correct?
I didn't have to move, but I pretty much, I was like a temporary like resident in Salt Lake City because that's where their hub is. And they're, so I did most of my training there. And then from there you get assigned to sims. Simulators, and so from there they can send you to Atlanta, Denver, Salt Lake, all those. So which I could go into a story about how that works.
Totally.
Okay, so the first time I went through training, pre-COVID, I went to Atlanta. Sketchiest thing of my life. We were in a nice hotel. They had great food, for us, but it was pretty much like they told me, especially as a woman, they're like, once that sun starts going down, you stay here. Like, do not leave. And I was like, they really couldn't, like, we can't just be in a nice neighborhood?
Yeah.
Why? But, like, so that was a wild time. And you could see Delta's, like, training headquarters over there. So that was cool. And then COVID hit a week before my check ride. So where I would have been, like, set as, like, a pilot at SkyWest.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then the next year around, when they brought us back, I did all my training in Salt Lake City, which was nice. So I was about like, I want to say a month and a half of training.
Yeah.
It was a long time. It's a long time to live in a hotel. I don't know how people can do it, but.
I did 2 months in D.C. in a hotel, 2 summers in a row. Yeah. And we were pretty well taken care of.
Okay.
But it definitely has its issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just like, especially when you're in like a long stay hotel, it's nice to have like, your fridge and stuff, but like we didn't have cars or anything, so it was constant like, if we have to go grocery shopping, we have to figure out, okay, are we taking a shuttle or Ubering or whatever, and I don't know. I just like my cozy little home.
Yeah.
I'm a homebody already, so yeah. But
so go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, and being away from Logan all the time.
Yeah.
And you're around a bunch of other like, there's only like 3 girls in my class.
Yeah.
Of like 50. So you're just around a bunch of other like annoying dudes sometimes, and you're like, I want to go home.
You want to go home to your annoying dude?
Yeah, I want to go home to my annoying dude.
I can say that because Logan's my boss.
Yeah.
And so you ended up. How long after like this training were you out of flying?
So I think I only had like a week off after I did all my training, and then I started, because then you go into IOE, which is your initial operating experience. So you're out flying, but you're with like technically like a training captain.
Yeah.
So I did that for I want to say that was like 2 months worth of trips. And then they put you on the line, which is like you're with any Joe Schmo captain to go fly. So, and I did that for, I think I got 2 trips done with 2 different captains, which like the first captain I had, he was originally from San Fran, and he was just like the most laid back. I was like, "How are you, captain?" He was just like vibing the whole time, and I was just like, I feel like I'm the adult here in the
Yeah.
situation. But he was really nice. Like, it's nice to fly with captains like that sometimes, so you're not like super like scared or
Stressed all the
just
time.
stressed out the
Yeah.
whole time. But yeah, and I got 2 trips done with that, and that was about when I lost my medical, due to like my kidney issues when I was younger.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I was just like, well, dang it.
Can't do anything about it now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Looking back, it's like, I mean, it sucked in the moment, but
What was your thought when you first were told, like, you can't do this anymore, or can't really move forward?
yeah, I would say like I was just kind of in a point where you're just sitting there like, okay, well, what now? Like, well, what am I supposed to do? Um, I would definitely say like I hit a wall where I was just
Yeah.
like, I just committed. What would that be, like almost 7 years of my life to this, and now it's just like, nope. They did technically say I could get a special medical certificate, but every year I'd have to go through and do tests,
Yeah.
and like they could flag anything.
Okay.
Which is where I ultimately was just like, I'm over it.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it definitely made me, because like I really liked being an airline pilot and saying I was a pilot, but I don't think it was like me,
Yeah.
you know? So then I was finally like, okay, well, what do you want to do?
Mm-hmm.
You know? Like, so it made me think really hard, and I went out and did some cowboy stuff, did some day work with
Yeah.
my horses and stuff, and gave my hand at that. And that was kind of where I relit my passion for like working with horses and cattle and coming back home, kind of. So
Yeah.
worked
So
out.
what did that look like for you going to do some cowboy shit, I guess?
So it was, we just go out and do what's called like pasture doctoring.
Yeah.
So go out, rope stuff, tie it down, treat it for whatever what's wrong with it, and you just do that all day. Just
That
hang out.
sounds like some real cowboy shit.
It was pretty great. And so it was really fun. It was like long days, but that was where I kind of got reminded of like long hard labor days, not long
Yeah.
hard mental days, which with airlines was like hard mental days. But I was just like physically like tuckered out,
Yeah.
and it was great. And I was just like, God dang, I forgot how fun this is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just hauling ass across the pasture, roping and treating stuff. Like, okay, hoping you don't die in a different way. But at least this time, if I die, it's my own fault. It's not
Yeah.
someone else's fault.
There
That's
you
all
go.
that matters.
Well, it could be a horse
Yeah.
or a cow.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, there's definitely something to being active all day long.
Yeah.
Even like just super basic activity. Like standing for me at a training all day long, I'm
Yeah.
exhausted from.
Yeah.
And we're not doing a whole lot.
No.
We do have a mix of the mental and the physical stress because there's constantly people almost tipping stuff.
Yeah. Well, and you have to deal with people
Yeah,
all day.
that's true.
That's a hard part.
It's hard to explain because I really like training and I like having to like turn myself on for a training and be social and be like super talkative throughout the day and like be welcoming to people and not be like an ass.
Yeah.
But I don't know, there's something to it that's like super fun and like exhausting afterwards. And then I go back to kind of like hiding. Like I sat for 3 hours in our open space office today, but in a tiny room to myself. So like that was way better than going out and sit and like people talking to me.
Oh yeah. I 100% agree with that. Like I my social skills, especially now that I've been working as like a ranch hand for the last like year and a half, have dwindled pretty good. So I would say like I can be out physically working on the ranch all day and like I'll be tired, but if I have to spend like 2 days socializing, I'm out, man.
Yeah, I get it.
I'm pooped. Like I cannot do it. And Logan's just like, Lexi, we need to socialize you more. And I'm like, no, it's fine. I'll just keep hiding and like I'll just hang out with my horses, dogs, and cows all day,
Yeah.
and I'll do way better.
Logan says very similar things to me when I say I don't want to go to company events.
Oh, you have to socialize more?
Yeah. And I'm like, I talk to them all day.
Yeah.
Why do I have to go talk to them more?
Yeah.
And he's like, it's part of the job. I'm like,
Yeah. Well,
they have each other to talk to.
yeah.
They don't need to talk to me.
And like, I already told them everything I know yesterday. So like, what do they need to know today?
Isaac is there to talk to him.
Yeah.
Isaac will talk until you stop him.
You know what's the worst is Logan. So he was like a super awkward guy, like starting in college,
Yeah.
right? Like, and his social skills, like he is such a good, like being in public and like talking to people and getting things going. And that turd, every time we're somewhere like where we have to socialize, he gets to hide and he makes me do the socializing. And it drives me nuts because I'm like, I suck at this now. I need you. And he's just like off, like hiding, doing his thing. I'm like, that's rude. That is rude.
No, I feel that. That's a solid move to play.
And it's not fair. And so like I'm stuck there trying to like socialize, even with his family. Like I'm the one who's trying to like hold conversations and stuff, and I'm like, how did he get out of this? He's the people person now, not me. It's unfair.
I don't know. I kind of feel like you are a talker as well. Like I remember in high school, it'd be like you were quiet, and then around people you knew, you talked a lot.
Yeah, I do have that problem. But I can guarantee you, though, the next day I'm going to hyperanalyze that entire conversation and be like, you talked way too much, Lexi. Yeah. And then I'm like, so then the next time I'll be like really quiet. And if you get me on the right topic, I just like keep talking.
Yeah, that's it. I definitely feel that.
Yeah.
I'll be like, oh, they think I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
Da, da, da. But, okay, so when did you start getting into, or actually, let's back up. So you left the pilot thing behind. You got into your cowboy shit. And what did that journey start looking like?
It was pretty chaotic.
Yeah.
So, I got my like office jobs for my full-time job. So like working at parts at Swanston Machinery.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that was a wild time. Definitely don't recommend going to work in parts if you're not mechanically inclined.
Yeah.
That was terrible. But I learned a lot. But it was kind of like I had my mare that I bought like the fall of, what would that be? 2020. I think it was fall of 2020. I bought her and started training her, and she was kind of like the first horse I've ever really trained on my own, and not just like, oh, I'm gonna go grab dad's horse that needs work, or I'm gonna go grab this horse that needs work. And she is such, I still have her. She's the one that I would have had a vet ride.
Okay. Yeah.
War pony through and through. She's great. But she kind of got me back into it, and like she allowed me to like take her to go do ranch work and all that stuff again. And so that was what I was doing in my spare time. And I was like, I really like this. Like, it's like, again, mentally and physically something that you have to do.
Yeah.
Like when you're training with them and problem solving, and it just really like fulfilled a lot of my needs, I guess, when I was doing it. And then I started buying more horses. That was where our bank account was like, what you doing, bud?
Yeah.
But I think it was good for both. Logan was really happy that I had found something that I just like loved to do, and like you wake up every day and you're like, I want to go do this.
Yeah.
I'm like, you kind of got addicted to it, and I think that's where I really found myself and like what makes me happy. And it's great because working with horses, like there's something new you learn every day. Like every day is not the same day with them.
So what does a kid, now you just said every day is different basically, but what does like a typical day of horse training look like? Because you know me, I am not a cowboy by any means.
Anytime I had you on a horse here that one
That's
time.
true. You also told me I didn't know how to ride it, so
Yeah, I did. I was also a lot meaner back in the day.
that's okay.
Um,
I think I got meaner since high school.
really?
Oh yeah.
I think
for
I
sure.
got nicer. I don't
Definitely
bully
not.
as much.
I think I bullied more.
Really?
I used to try to like appease people all the time, and I was
Yeah.
like trying to be everybody's best friend, and now I'm like, I don't want more friends.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think that's good though, because I do remember you in high school, and you were always so sweet, and like, but you were always
Yeah, no.
Ty goes and does his own thing, kind of a thing.
That's still true.
Yeah,
Definitely.
and so, but yeah, now I feel like I got nicer because I feel like I don't have to be so defensive all the time.
There you go.
Yeah. But a day in the life of horse training. So like, I guess for like me, it would be like I go to work, I do all of my stuff over at my brother-in-law's, and then I, like as you see here, I park my, if I haul horses, I park my trailer, get them all saddled, and I guess how I approach the day is like I'll just get on one. Like if I don't have a, like if we don't have to get cows in or we don't have to like do something with the cattle, I'll just get on them, and you just kind of start riding, and they pretty much tell you what they need to work on that day.
Okay.
So it kind of makes you just like listen to them. So like when I get on these guys today, like Dak, my 4-year-old colt, who I'm getting ready to bring to that show, I'll get on him and I'll just ride in the arena. And you know what I essentially have been working with him is to just relax, like don't feel like we're in a hurry to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Just listen to me. And then the other 2 girls, it'll be I'll just have to see what they want to work on, whether it's like literally just walking a straight line, or like working on just being softer in their body with me and stuff like that.
So you're basically trying to get them to do whatever you want them to do. Okay.
But like as a team,
Yeah.
like making them want to do the right thing and not forcing them to do the right thing.
So like, if your goal was to have them walk around the arena, you call it, right? So walk around the arena paneling here, and you were riding one of them, and they were just like fighting against you. Is that what you have to work on then?
Yep. Then I'd be like, okay, looks like we're working on you just like coming back to me and wanting to listen to me.
How often do you get bucked off? I guess that's the real answer I'm looking for.
I haven't been bucked off in a while, actually.
So that's kind of an extreme.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like when you get into like being bucked off, there's a lot of like things that you're probably doing wrong that brought you to that point.
Okay.
Like me, I don't like getting bucked off, so I do like things really, really slow.
Yeah.
Like I take a lot of baby steps before I really push
the horses
them.
probably appreciate.
Yeah. Yeah, so it keeps me, cuz like if I can't work, I don't make any money, like.
Yeah, totally.
So that kind of stinks. Or if I think they're going to buck or do something wrong, that's what I have Logan for.
There you go.
I throw Logan on him.
He weighs him down a little
Yeah,
more.
and he enjoys the chaos. So I'm like, yeah, you go take. But now he's been really spoiled with some of our colts that I've been training, that they're so nice. So like when there is a horse being dumb, he's like, oh.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, go have fun. You're going to do great. I believe in you.
So the goal, like training them, is for what specifically? Like workhorses? Are you training them?
So
I don't think there's like Kentucky Derby horses.
Yeah, no. Like Dak, our big one, he is gonna pretty much just be team roping ranch horse. Like after the show this weekend, he doesn't. I really don't need him to do anything like pretty or whatnot. The girls, on the other hand, like all of my girls are gonna be trained for something performance wise. So like show wise. So like the one on the other side of the trailer here that I have saddled, she's gonna be a cutting horse. Is what I'm shooting for her to be. She'll still go out and do ranch work.
So what's cutting?
That's where you'll see like they have a group of cattle in the arena, and they like walk in, pick one out, and then they work it.
They go back and forth.
Yeah.
So let's go in Yellowstone terms here.
Okay. Okay.
Is that like the guy that comes from? Is it 4-6s?
Oh.
And where they like the one horse is like singling out one.
Yeah.
One
cow.
One of the cows.
Yeah.
And just like getting it to do what it wants to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much what that is. Yeah, you like bring it out of the herd and work it back and forth. So that's what she's gonna do, and then the other one that I have over there, I'm gonna try to see if she wants to do that. If not, it would be called rain cow horse.
Okay.
So that's where there is only one like steer or heifer
Yeah.
or whatever in the arena, and then you work it, and then you have to like take it down a fence and then like circle it and stuff.
Okay.
So that's what she's kind of bred to do, but we'll see where she wants to excel.
Yeah.
But yeah, so all the girls that we own, other than the exception of Dak's daughter, where she's like copy cut paste of him.
Yeah.
She's gonna be a ranch mare,
Okay.
just like because she's giant already. And then the other one that's the same age as her, they're both yearlings. She'll be a show horse if she like wants to turn out to be a good horse. If she's not like trainable or like I don't really think she fits what we want, then I'll sell her.
Gotcha.
So.
Okay. So the ultimate goal would be to do this full time, right?
Yeah.
So would that just be working several different horses throughout the entire day?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so it would be ideally we'd like to like tie it together with the ranch.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would be like I take on, let's say like 5 client horses a month, and then so you just train them for however long you contract them to be with you, and so then you can make income that way and work them on like the cattle from here and stuff. So
Right on.
yeah, so trying to make everything like full circle work here as an operation, because like technically horses don't really make you a lot of money, but if I can work the horses on cattle that are making us money, well, it makes you feel a little bit better.
Is there a way to make a lot of money training them, like being sought after, or not as much?
There is, but typically like it's like the big guns make the money off of training.
Okay.
Like around here, I would say it's a little bit tougher. But I mean, you could do it, but to make like actual money, you're probably going to be pretty tired.
Okay.
Off of just training horses.
Yeah.
So, and you don't want to burn
sense.
yourself out either.
Yeah.
So, I think like I'd like to train horses full time, but also have, like a second flow of money.
Yeah.
in.
So like the cattle.
Yeah. Yep.
Gotcha. And that'd be like your normal labor work, and then the mental work is the horses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Full circle.
Yeah. Full circle.
Full circle.
Yeah.
Okay. So you were working for Olin's, right? And now you're working for Becca.
Yep. Becca and Carl.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I had no idea what his name was.
Okay.
And then, so the goal ultimately would be just to work like with the family ranch here.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I want to get into the hard-hitting questions here now.
Okay.
So when you got your cancer diagnosis, we're going to do a hard right turn.
Oh, okay. I'm ready.
What was your first thought?
Just kind of like, oh shit.
Yeah.
You know, because like I've always, when we saw the symptoms and stuff of it, there's always that thought in the back of your mind of like, what if it is cancer? You know, like what, you know, but it's not cancer.
Yeah.
Like whatever. So I think when they first told us, it was just kind of a shit kind of a feeling, like a stomach drop shit.
Yeah.
But you know, the first day that they told us, I think that's really been the only time though that I really like cried, I'd say, about it, because like I've never had anyone like close in my life, like I get my aunt had cancer, but like I never was around her a lot when she went through it. But you know, so we had our first day of like, okay, this sucks.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of the person where like I give myself one day to feel bad, and then I'm like, okay, well now what are we gonna do? But I think the hardest where it really hit like Logan was when we met with all of my team, like the surgeon, radiologist, and oncologist, and they're like, it is stage 4, and that was when he was like a mess. So I don't even know how to describe it, but it was just kind of like well, like, well, what now? You
Yeah.
know? Like, I don't know. I've never had to go through it before, so.
I feel like everybody's first time getting cancer is their first time
I know.
getting cancer.
It's weird.
Yeah. And I'm like genuinely curious because, like we've been very distant friends for the last 7 years, and we were fairly close in high school.
Mm-hmm.
But you're the closest person to me that's ever gotten cancer.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, holy shit, like that's nuts.
Yeah.
And obviously you're thinking probably the exact same thing. Holy shit, this is nuts.
Yeah.
But it seems as though you've kind of taken it in stride.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing, like after my first day of knowing I have cancer, for the most part, other than like times when I've been alone, like I've had a few like small breakdowns when you're alone and you're
As
like,
you should.
yeah. But after you tell everyone you have cancer, it turns into like me, myself, I have to be strong for like everyone else. So like everyone else is going to take it a different way, but like
You definitely don't have to be strong for everybody else.
Yeah, I know. But it makes it easier, and I think it helps me remember like positives that can come from it, and like trying to think of the good stuff, because it is easy to dwell on like, okay, well, this really stinks. But yeah, I think over the past few years I've definitely been trying to be the person where you find a positive in every situation, and like let's say if I do feel bad about it, like, well, what am I gonna do about it? Like,
all you can do is keep on keeping on, I guess.
Yeah, just taking it day by day.
Makes sense. So you found out in
so it was beginning of February, middle of February when they first said it was cancer, but it was March 1st when they told us it was stage 4.
Okay. So still fairly recently. And you started your treatment 8 weeks ago?
Yep.
Okay. If I remember right?
Yep.
What is that like? So it was called the Red Devil, right?
Yeah. Oh, even thinking about it just makes me like nauseous.
Yeah.
So yeah, I started that, and everyone, like, well, my team of doctors told me too. They're like, we're gonna throw everything in the kitchen sink at you. Like, everyone was telling me, and like all these things I've read about it, it was like, it's gonna hit you hard.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna be down and out. And I'm like, okay, well, let's do it.
Yeah.
And I mean, when I got there and they gave it to me that first day we left the hospital, and I like, my body was like, what is this red Kool-Aid? That is not Kool-Aid. Oh, he's gonna go get a bird.
He's on point right now.
So that was
Dogs
pretty
are going
tough.
after stuff.
Yeah, they're hunting. They're watching. But yeah, it's like that first week that I had it, like everything made me nauseous. And I remember laying on the couch and Logan's like, do you want this to eat? And I was like, no. Do you want this to eat? No. And he's like, what about this? Definitely no. And out of all things, it was lasagna. I could get lasagna down.
Lasagna.
Yeah. And I was like, who would have thought that lasagna is the thing that's going to make my tummy feel better? But it was just like navigating things like that. And round 2, when I went and got that, I'll go back a little bit. First week was rough. By the second week, I was pretty much back to normal. Yeah. Which was nice. Round 2 came, and I wasn't down for a full week. But, that was when I started losing my hair. Which I think losing my hair, the hardest part was just like if I would run my hands through my hair. Yeah. And like pulling out clumps. Yeah, and like and like I would be taking out like clumps of hair. That was really hard. I think, and one of the biggest things is like I'm a big sensory person. Yeah. So the thought of like hair being all over too just made me feel like icky. Yeah. But we shaved it, and that was like the week of my birthday, and I was just like, oh, this is kind of a shitty birthday present. But once I got it shaved, Having a bald head is pretty great, actually.
It's really easy to have short hair.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had long hair for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I don't think you ever saw me with long hair. But,
No, but like social media wise, yeah.
down in the middle of my back. And then, like, once you cut it, you do miss it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And you go to run your hand through your hair, and it's
Yeah.
like it's kind of relaxing sometimes. And
Yeah.
there's definitely benefits to having
Yeah.
long hair.
Oh, yeah.
But there's a lot more benefits to having short hair.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, the first day after, because, like, I work on a ranch, so, like, every day
Mhm.
my hair would either have to be braided or in a ponytail or whatever. I got up, and I would just, like, put my hat on, and I went to work. And I was like, this is
so
great.
easy.
Yeah. And, like, I always wear, like, wild rags or, like, scarves around my neck
Okay.
in the winter. So, like, when I had long hair, it would, like, get in that scarf and get all
Oh, yeah.
ratted up and whatnot. And I didn't have to do that.
There you go.
And I was just like, this is so great. And I get really bad hot flashes from, like, the menopause that they put me
Yeah.
on, or, like, induced.
Uh-huh.
And so I'd be, like, getting really hot, like, driving tractor, and I just take my hat off, and it just
There you go.
cools me off.
Yeah.
And I was like, I understand why Britney Spears shaved her head. This is great. So, and I had a lot of people where I think when they saw me with a bald head, they were just like, oh, you know, they get, like, the really bad sympathy. It's like, oh, don't feel bad for me. I was like, I'm living my best life right now with a bald head. Like, don't feel sad. But I think, honestly, one of the hardest weeks of treatment was after round 3. And, like, so when they administer it, it's like a slow, like, they have to sit next to you and, like, do it. And you have to chew on ice chips so you don't get mouth sores.
Okay.
Go away. And I couldn't chew on ice chips anymore. Like, thinking about ice chips makes me want to gag.
Yeah.
And then, you know, like, overly purified water has, like, that metallic-y taste.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, when they flush my port and do all that stuff, like, I get a metallic taste in my mouth, and then the ice chips were metallic-y, and the water I was drinking during treatment was metallic-y. So when I got home, I couldn't even drink water.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I was like, it was just miserable trying to, like, think of anything to drink.
Yeah.
And so I got a lot of Charlie horses. I got my first ever Charlie horse in my stomach.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Can't do anything about it.
No, I just kind of, like, crumpled over. I was just like, it's happening. It's happening now.
Oh, God.
So that was wild. Drank a lot of pickle juice.
Ooh.
Trying to get those to go away. So
that is trying to get me into pickle juice. I can't.
You don't like
it.
pickle juice?
I hate it. It's revolting.
What?
Yeah.
It's, like, my favorite.
Oh.
I love pickles.
Pickles, like I don't even want Avetta to, like, talk to me when she's eating pickles.
Really?
Oh, it's so gross.
Oh
The
my
smell
God.
of pickles is awful.
What kind of Midwesterner are you?
I don't know. I can't do it. Can't do mayonnaise either.
Really?
Yeah, no.
What the heck?
It's so gross.
I love a good like pickle beer, or like
Ugh.
pickle wraps, pickle dip.
No.
Huge pickle gal.
Yeah. I derailed us.
No, that's okay. But yeah, so week 3 is tough. Week 4, round 4, I felt pretty good. I mean, I was out sorting cows the next day, but I did that for 2 days, and by Thursday I was, like, kaput.
Yes.
I think I slept, like, out of a 24-hour period, I probably slept, like, 18 hours total.
So I've heard about, like, your last, like, 8 weeks from Logan, whatever. Tell me about it, and, like, checking in, asking. But it sounds like you were working horses, or with your horses.
Yeah.
In the first week.
Yeah.
Maybe the second week.
Yeah, mostly the second week.
Yeah.
I was, starting training horses.
Is
and
that
stuff.
kind of activity normal?
No.
No.
I guess not.
Yeah.
Every time we go into the doctor's office, he'd be like, how are you doing this week? And I was like, oh, tell him my symptoms for my first week. And then I'd be like, and then week 2, I was able to go for a few runs, and, I've been working with my colts. And he's like, wait. You're running?
Yeah.
He's like, you're doing all that? And I'm like, well, yeah. And he's just like, what is wrong with you?
So, like, health and fitness has always been something in my life, especially with my dad being like a phy ed teacher and weight room coach, and he did it. My mom was an athlete in some sense, ran marathons and whatnot. And so exercise, fitness for Cable and I has always been the norm.
Oh yeah.
But it is not for the most of the U.S. at least, it seems like. Is that like a beneficial thing to your treatment? Do the doctors think it's like will help and whatnot?
They haven't, I guess, said necessarily like it'll help.
Yeah.
I think it was more just for me mentally wise, because like
keep your sanity.
Yeah, keep my sanity. And then I've been, well, since starting as like a ranch hand, I've been I wouldn't say like physically fit. Like if I had to run a mile, I probably would have gotten heaved, but like strength wise and like doing just day-to-day labor, like I was pretty like in shape. And so then when I had to start treatment and I had a like ton of weight gain from like all the like cocktails of medication they've got me on, that's been honestly probably the hardest part for me, because I've always just been so somewhat fit. But yeah, so I think starting running and stuff, and like again just setting a goal to like do something, that's been good for me mentally wise. Otherwise, I think my doctor was just happy I was upright.
Yeah.
And like doing stuff.
Well, obviously, like the medication is hard on the body. And it has to, like exercise, being up, moving around, has to move that out of your system a lot faster.
I think it probably does, but I think it helps my body adjust though too, because like my blood counts and stuff have been slowly decreasing, so I wonder if it doesn't help my body adjust to like all of those big changes a little bit easier, like put it through a little bit of stress so that when it's not being stressed, it's fine.
It's like a vaccine.
Yeah. So I definitely think it's helped in some ways. Is it hard? Like I went for a run this morning, and round 4 I can tell has really kicked my butt, because like trying to run 50 yards is hard.
I can imagine.
So I'm just like, good Lord, like out there like a wheezing tomato, running down the streets, but it's fine.
Yeah.
But no, it's just, and I talked to my cousin Jen, who she got me into doing like the half marathons a few years back. I talked to her, and I was like, well, like, would you do the Fargo half marathon with me next year? And she's like, well, yeah. So then that way I set another goal for me to work towards and like keep my head up and motivate me to do something. So I'm very goal oriented.
Yeah. Like, well, it's good to have a goal.
Yeah.
Something to look forward to. A lot of people don't look forward to running.
Yeah.
But I obviously understand. I like running a lot.
Yeah.
But
yeah, but you're like way better runner than I've ever been.
It's so relative, because like I spend my afternoons running, and like you seem to spend like your entire day working. Yeah. So you're probably way better at working than I am.
I don't know.
Logan probably be like, yeah, Ty sucks at working. But I got no problem going out for a run. That's easy.
I like running because I think it's a great way to like be outside, and it's something you can do anywhere.
Totally.
Like weightlifting, I really like weightlifting, but you can only do it so many places.
Yeah, and then like there's ways around it, but like to get like actual like bar plates, all that stuff, it's expensive, and then there's a lot that goes into it, and like runners out there will say like, oh, running shoes are expensive and all this stuff.
That's your only cost.
But like, yeah, that's your only cost. And if you're running a lot and you really use a pair of shoes to like its peak, you're going to go through like 2 pairs of shoes a year.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So.
And I think that's the other thing too, is like, yeah, all you have to do is get a pair of shoes, and like for like a hobby fitness person, like I don't, like a light workout person, I think running is just nice, and it like physically exhausts me because I'm a terrible runner.
Okay.
Like so I just get really tired, and then I feel a lot more accomplished afterwards.
It's easier to feel more accomplished.
Yeah.
Well, I feel my thought process is like, if I go for like a 10-mile run, I can eat whatever the hell I want.
Yeah.
But like if I go for a 1-mile run, I feel the exact same way.
Yeah.
Even though like the benefits are not there.
It's not the same.
But if I like 1 mile shakeout, I'm like, yeah, I can eat as much as I want the rest of the day. And like 5 Sandy's donuts at a Bobcat training,
Perfect.
No problem.
Yeah. That's what got me into running. Or like, my cousin's like, you should really try this. And I was like, okay. So again, originally it was just like, I'm going to use this as like a fitness goal.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started like running, and I was like, Logan and I would go to like a Chinese buffet, and I could out eat him. And I'm like, this is great. Like,
Yeah.
I'm still losing weight, but I was doing, like 5 or 6 mile runs every day or something.
Uh-huh.
And it was wild. And yeah, now when I like barely trudge out 3 miles, I'm like, you probably still shouldn't eat that, Lexi.
Well, I don't know. It's so nice to be able to just pig out sometimes.
And
not
carbs,
have
it
to
gives
worry
you a
about
really good reason to eat bread.
pizza.
Yeah, and pizza.
Pizza and donuts are my weakness.
Really?
I can't stop.
I do love a good pizza. Donuts, I'm hit and miss. Pizza, though. Oh.
Like, Logan's probably seen it. But, like, if there's donuts, I can't stop.
Really?
Oh, yeah, until they're gone.
Like, do you have, like, a specific kind of donut, though?
Yeah, it's like the Bart Simpson donut. That's, like, pink with sprinkles.
Oh!
Like, that's my go-to.
Really?
But anything that's not filled, I'll eat.
Okay. I
Even
like
if
the
it's, like-
bear claw ones.
Oh, those are good.
With the filling. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I can't. I can do. Oh, wait, which ones are bear claws?
They're like the ones where they have, like, the white frosting on top, and they're, like, raspberry or strawberry filled.
Oh, no, I can't do that one.
Okay.
No.
No.
Apple filling, the ones I can do.
Oh, those ones aren't too bad.
But, like, it's an issue.
It's a real problem. I have a problem.
I stopped at 4 donut shops on the way to Bobcat.
Really?
2 Fridays ago, yeah. And I was on the phone with Iveta, and I was like, I need a donut. In the coffee shop that I go to in the morning sometimes, they have Sandy's. They aren't open yet. It was like 6:57, and I wasn't willing to wait till 7. And so then I drove to the next place and got coffee, and like they had pastries there. And I was like, no, I don't want that. And so then I drove to a gas station, pulled in the gas station. I was like, okay, Iveta, I'm at work. I got to go. And she was like, that was pretty quick. I was like, yeah, no, I lied. I'm at a gas station that has Sandy's. And then I drove to Sandy's. And then she's like, you're not at work yet, are you? And I was like, no, I'm at Sandy's now. And then I drove to the Holiday across from Bobcat.
My Lord.
And I was like, no, I'm at Holiday. And then I actually went to work there. I didn't eat the donuts.
As you have like armfuls of donuts.
I never got a single donut. I went to all those places and never got one. But yeah, I have an issue.
It's okay though. I always think I'm a big sweets person. In high school I used to be, and then as I've gotten older I'm more of a salty person. I like salty snacks and stuff.
Well, I heard from Logan that you guys have an ice cream problem.
We do. We do. I think it's because ice cream is the perfect combination of like salty and sweet. Thanks. I think it's because ice cream is a perfect combination of salty and sweet. I absolutely love vanilla ice cream with peanut butter.
Oh, yeah. That sounds very good.
Yeah. When I worked at Olin's, Kent Olin, their dad, him and I after lunch every day would have our little bowl of ice cream. It was great. It got me really hooked on ice cream. So now I have an ice cream problem.
That's okay.
I'm here to admit it.
I have a donut issue.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's so bad because Yvette is so healthy most of the time. Well, actually, she likes her pasta.
Okay.
And that's
Pasta's
her
pretty great.
That's her addiction is noodles.
Oh. Like, is there a specific kind of noodles?
No.
Anything.
I should say carbs.
She's a heck of a runner, though. So
she loves carbs. Well, she's in like a recovery phase. Like she's gotten 3 surgeries in the last 2 years, and so she's on the up and up.
Okay.
But like she broke her leg.
Oh my gosh.
And then she had to get a hip surgery. Like once that leg was like healed, she had to get a hip surgery.
Oof,
and once the hip was like pretty much healed, she got an ankle surgery.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah. So,
are those all injuries from running?
No, the leg was from rock climbing. It was like a freak accident of just like falling and twisting weird. And then the hip one was like a weird growth.
Oh.
That was like it would be like a bone spur is what it was.
Oh, sure.
And so like a bone spur that probably had her entire life.
Tess, come here.
And she got that removed and like instant relief, but like started recovered from surgery.
Yeah.
And then there was some weird like growth of inflammation in her ankle that she just got repaired.
Dang.
And that was like right before we got married.
Yeah.
This winter, and seems to be on the up and up. Started running again. Got a new running coach.
Oh.
And so she did her first 10-minute run today. So like she'll do like 2 minutes on, 1 minute off for like 10 rounds.
Okay.
Something like that. But today was like I think 2 10-minute runs
Dang.
with like a few minute break in between.
I can't even run like 2.5 minutes.
It's all good. We all have our runs. And
I
all
just
good.
remember seeing Yvette run in high school, and I was just like, she's like a goddamn gazelle out there. Just like makes it look easy.
Well, she did run in college, so
Yeah.
like I couldn't have done it. Her best times are better than my best times by far.
Okay.
Yeah, like significantly.
Yeah.
But
if you guys ever have kids, they're gonna be just like wicked athletes.
hopefully.
Yeah.
I have to convince her.
Watch
still.
them like commit to just being like a professional trombonist or something.
That'd be okay. I would be. I could nerd out on that. I just, I think a lot of people think this is they just want their kid to do something.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Just choose something. Yeah, that like that you're passionate about. Yeah.
So I have a question.
Okay.
Why can random people not wear cowboy hats?
Oh my gosh. Because that's the one area where I'm mean. Okay.
My reason is, like, so I bought one we went to like a Western themed wedding. And I was like, a perfect reason to get a cowboy hat. And it's awesome. Like, it provides a great, like, width around your head of, like, protection from the sun.
Yeah.
And it's firm. Like, I like that part of it.
Okay.
Like, they're solid.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, if you get, like, a random sombrero or if you get, like, any type of sun hat, they're all flimsy.
Yeah. Okay. So this is where I should clarify. I don't mind if someone's going to wear a cowboy hat.
Yeah.
But you have to fit. It can't just be some chintzy cowboy hat. Like, it's got to look nice.
Yeah.
It can't just be, like, one of those kiddo ones that I'll see people wear to, like, the PRCA rodeo in Fargo, where they have, like, the really ugly, like, little hat band, and they look like plastic. And then going along with that, they have to, like, your jeans and, like, if you're going to wear jeans and boots with it, they can't be, like, too tight.
Yeah.
Like, you shouldn't be able to see the top of your boots through your jeans. It's a big no-no. And no plaid. You cannot wear plaid.
Why not plaid?
Because plaid is the staple of how you know someone does not know what they're doing.
So when I had a plaid shirt on for the wedding I went to this summer, people knew that I went to.
Probably.
I sucked.
At least if they were like me, they knew.
Granted, there was a guy from England at the wedding.
Oh.
And he was like, the East meets the West, like a true cowboy. And I just went along with it.
I just
and
rode
so I
that
took a
wave.
picture with this kid, and because he was wearing like a kilt and like full Scottish attire. And I was like,
then you
yes.
matched him at least.
I was like, I am a cowboy. I said it.
I am the cowboy.
For that minute, I was like, yeah, I'm from the West.
Oh my lord. Yeah, no, I can't even go to like the Fargo PRCA rodeo because it's just like nails on a chalkboard to me with how many people are there, and they like their outfits of they went to Boot Barn for the day and bought like cowboy boots, and their jeans are like way too tight over their cowboy boots. Like you can see the stitching of the top of the cowboy boot through their jeans.
That was me at this wedding. I wasn't wearing jeans though. I was wearing some type of like tan pants.
Okay. Same thing though. If you can see that you're
I don't know if you could see my boots or not,
Good.
to be completely honest.
Good. And you also like see how I have my jeans rolled up?
Yeah.
Like when you sit, it's fine if they're rolled up like this and they're like kind of up high. But if they're like flat, like how your pants are like unrolled, and you're just like standing and they're short, no.
Oh,
they gotta have some length.
I just heard about that from Isaac. He was telling me that if you can see the design of your boots when you're standing, that's too short of pants.
It's a problem.
Yeah, I can see that though.
It's a crime.
So like the design of boots is only for
just for when you're not wearing them. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Doesn't really make sense, but whatever.
It is what it is. I don't make the rules. I'm just telling you. Yeah, I'm just telling you.
So if I was to wear a cowboy, like a straw cowboy hat with running gear, that'd be frowned upon.
Oh, jail. Jail.
Because I was like, I'm thinking through all these different things because I need I need some type of hat that's gonna keep the sun off me
What
when I
about
do
like a
my
bucket
race.
hat?
See, it's just not the same because those straw hats, they have good ventilation.
They do.
Yeah.
They do. You're just gonna have to
Either
get
rattle some feathers or
Yeah, you're either gonna get well, and that's the hard part, Ty. If you show up to like a training like that, you're gonna be the one who's getting bullied.
I already am.
Yeah.
If somebody tells the students that I go for a run, they're like, "What are you running from? If you ever catch me running, you better follow because I'm running from something."
Oh
And I
god.
already get ridiculed because I'm not like
This would be
6'5" with like a giant beer gut.
Talking about my husband? I'm
No,
just kidding. I'm kidding.
no.
I'm kidding.
Well, he's probably like 6'2", I don't know.
Yeah, he's short.
Yeah. But like I don't like drink like
Yeah.
2 12-packs a day
Yeah.
and know everything about everything in mechanics. Yeah, I know
I
I get made fun of plenty at our trainings already.
Okay.
So.
Well, this would be even worse though, because then they'd be like, "What? You some running cowboy?" And or I can't even begin to imagine what they'd have to say. But I'm just here to try to save you from that pain.
See, I was trying to convince Logan that we need Bobcat branded cowboy hats.
I was there when
Yeah.
he brought that up, and he was just like, "What do you think, Lexi?" And I was just like, "Get a friggin' sombrero or something." I was like, I can't imagine. But if you just follow the simple guidelines of like trouser fit pants that are long enough, no plaid,
There
you'll
we
be
go.
okay. You'll be okay.
I can follow those rules.
Yeah, no one will know.
There we go.
Yeah. So
Let's see here. How long have we been going for here?
I don't know.
I have no idea either, to be completely honest. A little over an hour.
5:55. Yeah.
Well, I'll let you get back to your life. But is there anything that well, first of all, it's been great to catch up.
Yeah.
It has been a really long time. And what's funny is we were at Plaza.
Yeah.
And that was like the first time I'd seen you in a long time. And I was like, we were talking about recording a podcast. I'm not going to talk to her.
Oh yeah.
I intentionally was like, I want to catch up
I
on
felt
the podcast.
so bad though that night because I was just like, oh, Ty was right there, and like I hardly could talk to him. I was
It's
like,
all
I hope
good.
he doesn't think I hate
It was
him.
semi-intentional from my part. I should have told
Okay.
you.
Okay. Yeah.
But we kind of got in and out that night too, so it was all good.
Yeah. That was a good night though. That was like the first time I've really like talked to Jordan.
Oh yeah.
You know the first time? You want to hear a story about the first time I met Jordan?
Sure.
So it was last summer or something, I'm pretty sure. And there was a Big and Rich concert at the Lights.
Mm-hmm.
So we were all at that, and there was like a bunch of dealers there. Well, I didn't know that Jordan was like there because
Yeah.
he had just started too.
Okay.
And so he's sitting there talking with some of these dealers that I knew from when I had been at Bobcat
Oh yeah.
or at Swanston. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like dropping the F-bomb, like just like not being ladylike at all. And then Logan's like, Lexi, this is Jordan, my boss. And I was like, son of a bitch. Like, I was just like, well.
Well, I'm pretty sure he wouldn't mind at all because he came from the military.
Yeah.
He's still in the military.
Yeah. And
So
he handled it really well. But I was just like, I am so sorry. Like, so sorry. And then that night at Plaza, I just felt a lot more relaxed around him because I'm just like, I know he's just kind of a dork. Makes me feel better.
He likes his conspiracy theories, and he seems to just like to work. I don't know.
He seems like a very like high ADHD, just like zoom,
Yeah,
zoom,
probably.
zoom, zoom.
Yeah,
Kind of a
he's
guy.
all over the place.
He's like
too.
he's just like a hyperactive. He's like a Logan, but he just shows the pinging a lot more than what Logan is.
Yeah, I feel like Logan's probably like that a lot more outside of work.
I don't know. He's really quiet, I feel like, all around, but like you just notice how like physically he's just like do.
That's
like,
true.
doing
He does
stuff.
always want to be doing something.
Yeah.
He doesn't like to sit in the office.
Nope.
Which I do laugh at when he has to sit in the office and work at his computer.
Mm-hmm.
Our whole team's kind of like that. Nobody wants to sit at the office.
Mm-hmm.
I left work today. I was like, and it's actually like I think it's a much bigger conversation. Is like, how do these people like there's people that have been at the exact same desk every single day that I've been in the office. They've been in there every single day I've been in the office, and I never see them not at their desk.
Yeah. How do they just sit
How
there?
do they do that? And I'm like so thrown off by it.
When I worked at the service desk at Bobcat there, like we had to like be at our desk and like take, minimal breaks and stuff and like just sitting there. So I went from that to being a ranch hand and like being out in fencing, which like I didn't realize how much I don't use. Like I worked out and stuff.
Yeah.
But like functionality, like fit wise, like there was days like I'd go fencing and like I had like no grip strength left.
Yeah.
I was just like woofed. So yeah, I was one of those people. I think if I were to have that job with like my cancer diagnosis now,
yeah, it'd be rough.
it would be awful. Did it die?
It did die, but that's okay. This is still going.
Okay.
I knew that was going to happen. I'm actually surprised it lasted as long as it did.
Oh, okay.
Talking about the camera.
Okay.
I think it lasted 20 minutes one time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was like,
what?
It's a new camera. And
you have
just
one
shits
job.
to bed every now and then. But whatever.
Yeah.
Might be a good way to kind of wrap it up here.
Yeah.
Anything you want people to know about you? Do you have like a page to share about your horse training, stuff like that?
I guess not. Like now, I mean, we have our Alm Ranch Facebook page, but like I've kind of closed off from outside client horses and stuff.
Yeah.
Just because of what's going on.
Yeah.
But no, other than that, I think it's just like my one memo I say is just take life day by day. Every day's a new day. And like, shit can really suck, but there's always something positive that's going to come out of it. Like there's a reason for everything.
Well, I kind of expected, so I asked the question about like when pilot school was like kind of taken from you because like your previous health condition and then now cancer. Seems like you have taken it in stride. Mm-hmm. Pretty awesome.
Yeah, I like to think that everything happens for a reason, and there's a reason all these jobs and like all these life changes I've had to go through happen, and it's because like now where I'm at in life, it's like almost like the perfect spot for me to deal with cancer.
Yeah.
Like I've got some awesome horses that don't try to kill me every day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like with Logan, I work a job where they're like, if you don't feel good, don't come to work, like you'll be fine.
Yeah.
And I stay physically active all the time to like stay healthy.
That's good.
So I think it all snowballed to be where I am today.
Well, that's probably the best way you could probably look at it.
Yeah.
But I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sweet.